two-year program overall. The first course is media productions, which is any student can take, and it's a full-year course, 40-week course. The second course in the sequence is television production, and those are the folks that work behind the cameras and produce the TV show and the features and things that you see on the air. Media productions is a prerequisite for that course, so those are my second-year students. And if their schedule permits, there is a third course, Media 3, that students can continue on in the technical vein.
We actually got to use cameras, and they were actually putting trust into our hands with expensive equipment. And then with television productions, it was a show. We actually had a show that we had to make. And Media 3, I figured I took the first two courses, might as well do the third.
It's a complex job putting the television show on the air every morning. It takes about 12 different jobs, different people doing different jobs to make it happen. And the students rotate through those different jobs, so everyone gets exposure to camera work and directing and running the video switcher and the audio and the features and the teleprompter, all the different aspects of it.
I really enjoy being director. You have to be focused and timing has to be good. The hardest job to learn was teleprompting. It's quite a few steps to actually get the script up, and then you have to start scrolling and you have to be listening. That's probably the hardest job to learn.
To appear on air, students take a course called News Broadcasting, which is a senior English elective. Media productions isn't required for that course, but it is recommended.
We are the in front of the camera crew. So on a rotating schedule, we have a news team of 4 students. They're our first order of business for the day. They're going to go on live at 9 o'clock. They'll capture all the news that's on file from email and new news that teachers put in the front office. They go down to the studio and they actually type a script, a 10-minute live television script. It includes 2 features that students have developed, and it's pretty complete with sports, weather, and lunch news as well. I asked students to come up with 2 different concepts, 2 ways to attack the same feature idea. Once we approve one of those ways, they'll go to a storyboard that's meant to guide the editor once the filming is complete. It probably takes a student, I would say, 2 weeks. That would be 5 classes in our 80-minute rotation from concept to final development.
Yeah, we have to come up with a feature for our third quarter, and it has to involve different perspectives of the camera. Right now we're just coming up with a storyboard for it and developing our ideas. Then we move on to another storyboard, which has like times and, you know, it's different. You tell what kind of shot you want to do, if it's close up, you know, from the sky, the floor, what dialogue you're saying, the music, and then you draw your pictures. So it's all laid out, so it's fairly easy to work with. It's nice to see our features go on the air, and then other kids in our grade and throughout the school enjoying it and laughing at our humor and whatnot. So it's really good.
We've had several different alumni, lots of alumni move on to go to college for communications and video production, and several of our alumni are working out in the field currently. We have one alumni out in California making commercials for big networks. We have an alumni who's trying to break into news broadcasting actually here locally, and we have several in various college programs in New York. Seeing the TV production students progress throughout the years is really interesting, because in the fall it can be a little intimidating. There's a lot of equipment. It's a complex process to put the show on the air, and our goal throughout the year is to help the students become more comfortable with the equipment and more professional in its use. And by the end of the year, the students look at live TV a whole different way. They understand what happens behind the scenes, what it takes to put a show on the air, and that progression in understanding is really neat, and it's interesting to watch.
Hi, I'm Dylan McDonnell.
And I'm Justin Epps.
We're here at Northwood Elementary to take a closer look at the Roswell Park program that the students are participating in.
Let's go.
I'm here with Dr. Crawford. So, Dr. Crawford, can you tell us a little bit about the book that you read to the kids today?
Yes, it's a nice book reminding our our young friends about the importance of being kind to one another, and telling people that you love them, and filling buckets with good thoughts and good deeds for others. And also suggesting to them that they not be bucket dippers. Those are people who take good things away from people by hurting their feelings and those kinds of things. So we have a nice combination in the classroom here of fifth graders working with first graders. And that role modeling is very important. And for the younger children to hear the older children talk about helping others and caring about others is a great thing.
Great, thanks a lot.
Hi, I'm here with Hope and Catherine. Can you guys tell us about the book you heard today?
The book we read today was about how other people can fill other people's buckets by like giving them a smile or just saying a simple hello to them.
All right. And what can you guys do to fill someone's bucket?
To be really nice and to help out and like say nice things. And if they're feeling sad, just be really nice to them and they'll get a bucket filled.
Yes, I totally agree with him because my friend Jack, his dad has cancer, and almost every second of the day, I'm trying to make him happy. And it's starting to work, and I just wanted to see that smile on his face, and I hope his dad gets better.
That's nice.
If someone's feeling sad, you can do things to try to cheer them up and make them happy.
You like make people happy, like saying hi, helping like if they drop their stuff, pick it up for them, like walk home with them if they're like lonely, and then like if someone's being mean, just like step in and tell the person being mean just to stop.
I'm here with Miss Herr and Miss Kreipel. Miss Kreipel, can you tell us a little bit about the book that was read today?
Sure. Dr. Crawford came in to read the book, Have You Filled a Bucket Today? And we're taking the idea from that book, and outside of every classroom, there are buckets where we're going to be collecting items for Roswell Park. And we took the idea that when you fill someone's bucket, you do kind things for someone. So also in our class, the students are decorating and painting buckets, which we'll put donated items that will be coming from all the students at Northwood. And on March 16th, we'll be going to Roswell Park and delivering the buckets to them at that point.
All right, great. And would you be able to tell us about the collection and donation process?
We're collecting donations from everyone here at Northwood, and we're collecting items such as markers, crayons, coloring books, stuff for the kids at Roswell who are there for treatments that can use some art products while they're waiting.
I'm here with Mrs. Greenway. Can you tell us about the students painting the buckets?
Yes, the students read the story about filling someone's bucket, and they decided that they wanted to do something kind for some of the kids at Roswell Park. They're very excited about painting them. They often talk about how they want to make them so beautiful for the kids, and they got a list from Roswell Park on different things the kids need for different activities, for art activities or, crossword puzzles and things like that. So the kids are very excited, and, they just want to help out other kids. That's the bottom line.
Thank you. That's the inside scoop on the Roswell Park program. From Northwood Elementary, I'm Justin Epps.
And I'm Dylan McDonald.
Now, Mrs. Smart, what was your role in tonight's event?
I've organized a talent show. This is the 5th year, and so I help recruit the students, practice with them, organize all the behind the scenes, and just put on the show.
All right, what do all the proceeds tonight go to?
Our proceeds are being split between our West Seneca Relay for Life team and Kids Escaping Drugs.
All That's fantastic. And what kind of qualities do you think students have to possess in order to be successful?
I think a willingness to generally put themselves out there. You know, it's a showcase of talent. It's not a competition. So, you know, just an eagerness to share with their peers and their family their special talents, and really just the courage to get on stage and do it.
Mike and Anthony. Now, guys, what was your talents tonight?
We danced. We did the Dougie.
Did you guys enjoy that?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a good way to like show that the 8th graders. It's a good way to close our 8th grade year.
What kinds of things did you have to do to prepare for tonight's event?
Basically what I had to do for tonight's event, I had to just basically sing my heart out, and practice makes perfect. That's what I always say. It does.
All right. And what did you like most about performing tonight?
What I liked most about performing tonight was that I got to see all my friends and family, and I don't know, I just had fun.
All right.
Nothing. Instead of just sitting around and looking down on tomorrow. What is that feather like through? I had nothing show off. What's a plain bird to do? And there's certainly nothing to show off.
Tom here with West TV at Science Night. We're here to find out how science affects our community and just to learn a little bit more. So let's go find out more about science.
4, wait for me, 6, all together, 8, yes, 10, we try 12.
All right, Tom here with Mr. Heitzman. Now, Mr. Heitzman, what's the purpose of tonight's event?
Tom, the purpose of tonight's event is to get kids involved in science, interested in what we do with science, and kind of spark that interest with various activities.
All right, and what are some of the activities that are actually taking place here?
Well, tonight we have see the whale behind us, which gives the kids an opportunity to get inside the whale. We have Science Circus next door. We have some electricity demos. We have the zoo. And also we have some activities for the kids in competitions downstairs.
All right, and why do you think science is important to the community and the children in general?
Well, science is really important from a couple of different standpoints. First of all, it's fun. Secondly, as far as career opportunities, science is where it's at. There's a lot of money involved as well as job opportunities, and just in general, it's good to know how the world works and what's going on around you. So in those ways, it's very important.
All right, thank you very much. I'm here with Matt. Now, Matt, what are you doing here this evening?
We're up at the high school, and I'm involved in all the science courses up there, and through the Science Honor Society and with my physics teacher, Mr. Heitzman, a group of us came down here to the elementary school to spread the word of science, you know, promote science throughout the schools and really get kids interested in science to keep the program going.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Now, what did you guys enjoy about tonight?
Well, everything about Science Night, because science is really cool.
All the fun activities.
All right, and what activities were your favorite?
I like the one where you touch the big yellow ball and your hair gets all staticky.
I liked how you got to go and see the animals up in the library and touch the snake and see all the different animals.
And do you guys look forward to a science night next year?
Yeah.
Tom here with Danny and Anna. Now, what was your role in tonight's event?
Our role at tonight's event was showing off FIRST. It's an organization we belong to that promotes science and technology through STEM education. What we did tonight was bring our FRC robot, Carl, to show what we do. The theme this year, we get a game every year from FIRST, was to play basketball. And that's what we show kids. It's kind of athletic, kind of nerdy. It's great for everybody.
Yeah, I think kids really enjoy it. And so you guys obviously being part of your organization, you guys enjoy science, right?
Absolutely. A lot of people that enter our organization end up getting a college scholarship for sciences, technology, engineering, sometimes bioengineering even. We really promote everything.
That's fantastic. Thank you guys very much. All right, Tommy with Miss Badger. Now, Miss Badger, what do you hope that the students take away from tonight's event?
But I think what I want children to know is that science can be fun, and it's very far-reaching, and that science connects to so many different things, and science is a very, very integral part of their life. And I would hope that they could see it as something that maybe they would want to be more interested in, or learn, you know, just a whole host of different concepts that could enhance their own life outside of school.
Thank you, that's great. Science on three, ready? 1, 2, 3. Science!
This family reading DVD was created to provide families with an overview about what reading looks like at Northwood and helpful tips that parents can utilize to continue to support their child's reading development at home.
When I read, I go to a special spot.
I like reading because I like to sound out words. Reading makes me want to write a book. Reading makes me feel like I want to read another book. I love reading because I get to learn new things and it makes me smarter. I love reading because I get to conference with Miss Keifel.
When my children, I have a son and daughter. My son now is 31 and my daughter's 28, and I have a granddaughter. But when they were your ages, I tried to read to them every night before bed. And one of the things that I always was interested in doing was finding books that were of interest. You know, storytelling is a great thing. We all like to be told good stories, right? Yeah. And the same is true when we're reading. We want to read a good story. And the idea with that reading is it's such a nice shared experience between a parent and a child. And it's all about enjoying the story itself. It's a love of words. It's describing situations. It's allowing for some discussion between children and adults. And it also establishes a value for reading. When a parent reads with a child, the parent is saying reading is important. It's a valuable activity to do together. And so I've always felt that reading with young people is incredibly important and a lot of fun for me. Not only with my own children, but all the years I was a teacher and a school principal. I did a lot of reading with everybody. And I want to encourage you to read as much as you can. Become readers. If you don't become anything else in life, be a reader. And if you read, the more interesting you're going to be, and the more you'll know. And the better you'll be able to talk and express your ideas. And if you also become readers, you'll do very well in school.
I love reading because it is awesome and it refreshes my brain.
I love reading because I always think that there are lots of adventures inside the wonderful books.
Reading makes me feel good and it relaxes me. I love reading because after I read each book, I want to find out more. It makes me curious.
I love reading because it takes me to a different world.
Reading, just like learning to play the piano, or learning to skateboard, or learning to, what other games do you guys like to play? Hockey. Learning to play hockey, any of those things. Reading is just like those sports because you have to practice and you get better at it, right? Mm-hmm. So the more you do it, the better you get. And the better you get, the more you want to do it. And then the more you do it, the better you get, and the more you like it. And guess what happens? The smarter you get. If we know practice makes you better at anything that you're doing or learning, then what do you have to do to get better at reading? Yep, practice. You have to keep reading. So one thing we know for sure as teachers, as parents, as school leaders, that time matters. So the amount of time that you read matters in how well you're going to be as a reader. So if I only read a little bit, what's going to happen? That's right, Dakota. You won't really be that good at it. So if I read a lot,
You will get better at stuff.
I'm going to get better at reading. It's true. So I'm going to tell you 5 things, 5 important parts of reading that you probably don't even know about because that's what your teachers know. One, that phonemic awareness means you can really hear the sounds in words. So I'm guessing you guys are so good at that already that when you look at words in a book, you already know what words make that up and you can sound it out if you need to. That's also called phonics. Those are 2 very beginning pieces of reading. And then fluency. Have you ever heard of that? Fluency?
Yeah.
You have? Wow, you guys are amazing. So fluency means that you read with a nice smooth voice. So instead of sounding like this, you start to sound like this when you read, just like when you're talking. And that's what happens when you get better at reading. And then vocabulary is another part of reading, and those are all the words that you find in the book. So the more words you see, guess what happens to your eyes?
They get better.
Yeah, you start to recognize those words, you just see them and you know them. And then the biggest, most important part of reading is comprehension. Do you know what that means? It means understanding what you read. Exactly right. Because that's really why we read, to understand it, because there's so much to learn in reading.
I love reading because I love to learn fun stuff about snakes and all kinds of different animals. I like nonfiction and fiction.
When I read, I get pulled into a magical reading world. If people try to talk to me while I'm reading, I zone them right out like no one is talking to me at all.
When I read, I learn new things so I get better grades and I feel good reading. I like funny books a lot because they cheer me up when I am sad.
In this classroom, Mrs. Trabuzzi, a guest reader, is sharing a big book with the kindergartners. Shared reading is a wonderful way to share the love and joy of reading while modeling what a reader thinks and does. Kindergarten students enjoy hearing character voices and answering challenging questions about the stories. This helps them engage their minds and helps them think like readers.
In this first grade classroom, you will see students engaging in partner reading, which is an important part of the reading workshop routine. Students read with their reading partners every day and act as reading coaches for each other to reinforce good reading habits and strategies with each other. In first grade, we believe in using a workshop model for reading that provides opportunities for building independence, supporting choice, and overall reinforcing good reading routines.
This segment shows a second grade class participating in a share session at the end of Reader's Workshop. This not only helps secure reading strategies and learn skills, but it promotes the love of reading. Everybody loves to share about what they are reading.
And it's about 2 boys named Robbie and Arlo that were best friends and they had missing tooth. I read Hugly and the Toy Monster, and this is about Hugly and his 2 friends, and they found a special slime pit under children's beds.
In third grade, the learners participate in Reader's Workshop. Independent daily reading is part of the routine. During independent daily reading time, the readers are reading books that are at their independent reading level and interest level. When the learners read independently, they improve vocabulary and build fluency as well as background knowledge or schema. Student-teacher conferences also take place during independent daily reading time to provide the reader with supportive intervention.
In the fourth grade classrooms, we have a mini lesson every day that starts off a reader's workshop. They're very interactive. The kids are all buddied up with other partners that they get to discuss some of the skills and strategies that we are working on throughout that lesson.
So what I'd like to do now is I'd like us to kind of look in our notebooks, so kind of maybe even go back to either yesterday's or the day before's. Look at your notes, so look at some of the dots you did, and then look at how you organize them.
Fifth grade reads.
In our fifth grade classroom, you see students buzzing about their books. Students give book talks about books they've read and would like to recommend to their peers. In fifth grade, we focus on reading workshop and the core curriculum for New York State. Mini lessons, small group instruction, and independent reading with books that are at each student's reading level help students gain confidence in their reading ability.
Because of how James Patterson writes it and what the character does in this book.
Some tips that you can help me out with at home. Remember that you are my first teacher. If I see you excited about reading, I will be excited to read as well.
Make sure I have access to books everywhere. What about the car, bedroom, family room, and bathroom?
Encourage me to read all kinds of texts from joke books, comics, magazines, and you should know my interests as a reader so we could pick up texts that I want to read. You could recommend books to read to me.
We should have time every night to enjoy reading a book together. Everyone enjoys hearing books read aloud.
Help me to select books that are at my just right reading level.
Take me to the public library over the summer. There are many programs there that I'll enjoy.
Here are some additional resources that you can use to help me read.
Use this series of short YouTube videos created by the Northern Illinois Literacy Clinic to help give you tips on specific reading topics.
Remember that the teacher and school subscription to online sites like Bookflix for Us Kids and PebbleGo are still available throughout the summer.
Use Destiny Quest to help you find books that are at your child's just right reading level. You can find Destiny Quest on the Northwood Library page, or you can download the Destiny app.